This is exhilarating. Get excited.
That's kind of scary. Just this opening image. I mean, look at that.
I believe that's a kiwi bird.
Yeah. Like, imagine having to crap out an egg that big.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that is insane.
Nature kind of screwed them up on that one.
Yeah, kiwis, sad to say, man. It's just the unfairness of nature. But anyway, yeah. So kiwis are, kiwis aside, this is why this is the scariest predator of all time by Casual Geographic. So Casual Geographic has got some stuff here, and in all honesty, every time Casual Geographic comes out with a video, I'm just like, I'm game. Bring it on. Let's see it. I want to see it. So I'm just curious as to which predator they're going to be talking about, because I know that there's that cat, that really small cute kitty that is like can jump really high and catches birds, and
it's considered like one of the deadliest animals on the planet.
Yeah,
its kill count percentage.
Oh yeah, it's insane, and they're so cute. They're like little tiny kitties, and then just it's like, damn, I want to pet it. So, why this is the scariest predator of all time by Casual Geographic? I don't know what predator it's going to be. But knowing Casual Geographic, he's going to do a bunch of explaining as to why, and by the end of it, we're basically just going to be like, there's no doubt. There's no doubt he's right. Casual Geographic, I find myself just agreeing with him vast majority of the time when it comes to, like, his opinions on certain animals and stuff like that. Also, the man is brave enough to swim with sharks. Braver man than me.
Yeah, I ain't doing that.
Yeah. As much as I'm not as afraid of sharks as Nick, I ain't gonna jump in the water and swim with sharks. Damn. Anyway, so why this is the scariest predator of all time, let's go ahead and get into it. Here we go.
Some animals very clearly got the middle finger from evolution. This is the portrait of privilege. There is no animal that's gotten more green lights from God than a bulletproof, sawtoothed, predatory sledgehammer with hyperintelligence, parkour prowess, and the ability to cryo-sleep like Captain America. Yeah, that menace is alive. Find out if you want to. Brumation's pretty much hibernation for reptiles. Basically a built-in power save mode for animals that already don't use much of it. But it means this is an apex predator that can survive a fade with Elsa, cause gators and the like can survive a winter in a frozen pond by turning their metabolism all the way down, where they'll just stick their snouts above water and leave the rest under the ice where it's actually warmer until fate decides to defrost them. Mind you, Brumation's not sleep, and gators will move around on days when it's warmer, but it also means this ill-mannered iceberg can probably sense you walking past it, thanks to another superpower we'll get into later. Cause you're gonna learn that not only is the mame gecko the most disrespectful addition to the food web.
Ooh, imagine opening your tent like out in Florida and looking out and seeing that shit. Like, this is my death. This is where I die.
It is humanity's greatest predator, and whatever Oppenheimer felt when Hiroshima got hit with a massacre mushroom isn't even 1% of the regret felt by whoever unleashed an armor-plated equalizer onto Earth. But real quick, I'm gonna be saying crocodiles for most of this video, but a lot of this applies to crocodilians as a concept. I cannot express how much every part of a crocodile's body is designed to author your obituary, and that includes its walnut-sized brain. Because crocodiles are intelligent on a level that should deeply disturb you. Both mugger crocodiles and American alligators will lure birds in by using sticks and twigs as bait to snatch their souls. That would already be bad enough, without the implication. The implication is that Satan's Snaggletooth stapler is able to take seasonality into account, since they're aware enough to pull this in the middle of nesting season. They're like Batman with prep time, except they've had 100 million years to plot. Another revelation is that the dinosaur time left behind will hunt as a pack, with scientists watching a group of crocs swimming in a circle around a shoal of fish, making the circle tighter and tighter until the fish were forced into a bait ball, just for the chompy boys to take turns cutting across the center of the circle to get their share of fish. There's another example where a massive saltwater crocodile scared a pig into running into a lagoon, where it was immediately jumped by 2 smaller crocs waiting. Now the implication there is somehow the giant salty knew exactly what direction to force the pig. Crocs have been doing this, it's just as expert Vladimir Dene will tell you, it's incredibly difficult to study an animal that does its damage in the water. Because if you're in the water studying hunting crocodiles, chances are they're also studying you, and their thesis statement is your headstone engravement. Vlad has put in over 3,000 hours of watching crocs, and has witnessed things like a stronger, heavier croc driving fish to shore, with smaller, more agile teammates hawking cornered fish. Now you might ask, how do the crocs share their victims? And honestly, that might be more unsettling than how they murk them. Chris Campbell was a contractor.
Just the fact that the water
smaller,
here is
more
so
agile
murky.
teammates hawking cornered fish.
Yeah, look at that. You don't see it. And then
Now you might ask, how do the crocs share their victims? And honestly, that might be more
right there.
oh, I see it too. I see it now too.
unsettling than how
But yeah. Well,
That one coming out of the water there is kind of scary looking.
well, yeah. Well, the fact that you can see all these, see both of these here, but the fact that this one was underwater, like just about like that much, and then it comes up, it's just like, hey, buddy, I'm hungry.
they murked them. Chris Campbell was a contractor for the Okefenokee Wildlife Reserve, which meant over a decade of watching what a neighbor gator is capable of. One day he showed up to work with 60-something gators posted up by the boat docks. What he described were 2 groups of gators, one in the semicircle formation driving fish to the shallows and using the boats to corner them, and the other group in the background resting, or more like waiting. Because whenever a gator from the hunting party caught a fish, he'd immediately retire to the waiting group, and one of the waiting crocs would sub in and take his place. This went on for hours, until it got hot enough for them to clock out and go their ways. But when Campbell went back the next morning, like clockwork, the morning crush was still there. Same time, same place, same agenda. That's a level of teamwork and foresight most people aren't willing to accept from a prehistoric snap trap. But your ignorance ain't bliss. In fact, it's what sustains them. In many spots in Africa
You see its eye, the eyes of the fish popping out. Damn.
and Australia, people are warned never to get water from the same place more than once, and definitely not past twice. It's because crocodiles will memorize patterns and clock your daily routine, and getting too predictable around a professional camper means the croc will take note, just to ambush you the next chance they get. And they'll use very
Get out of there.
little
Get out of
energy.
there.
It's also why studying them is like edging death. Choose the same spots repeatedly, and at best, the croc notices and avoids you with no regard for your research. And at worst, Senior Snappy studies your habits enough to put a halo around your head. That's a real PhD,
Oh, God.
which makes it
Rewind that. I barely saw that because I
Yeah.
was reading the upper left port.
Yeah.
repeatedly, and at best, the croc notices and avoids you with no regard for your research. And at
Homie is just like chilling here.
Oh, he doesn't realize it's
No,
there.
no. He
worst,
turns around and he's
Snappy
just
studies
like,
your habits enough to
he's
put a
like,
halo around your head. That's a real PhD, which makes the crocodile a gift-wrapped FU to any creature of habit, and why the most dangerous kind of croc is
This video's scary.
it's a demon in the water right there, dude. Look at
actually
that
an
thing.
investigator. But if you watch this video, you could be the smartest thing missing a spine. You'll still be a living doormat if you don't have the hardware to back it up. And no animal has more disrespectful hardware than a motion-activated bear trap.
Yeah.
The crocodile is the most physically unfair predator on Earth because virtually every body part has been expressly designed to flatline you. They have the strongest recorded bite force of any animal, at 3,700 pounds per square inch, making its jaw a steel trap capable of damage on par with victims of war.
Yeah, it does.
But maturing's realizing it's the teeth as much as the jaw. Sharks have serrated teeth to slice through prey. Crocs have death
I
cones
didn't like that.
Bet you didn't.
designed to keep prey in its custody, meaning if a leather log bites you, you have the lowest chance of escape, which gets worse when the croc proceeds to drown you, and with crocs being able to hold their breath for up to 2 hours, trust that you'll pass tense long before he does. The only thing with those teeth is, they're great for grabbing, useless for chewing, so they'll slam prey into chunks and swallow them whole, which leads to the most broken finishing move of any animal,
The death roll.
the death roll. But crocs also have the most acidic stomach of any animal, and can dissolve bones, horns, and hooves. But they're also bloodbenders, with a heart that controls exactly where the blood goes, and a feeding croc will direct blood to its stomach, so the carbon dioxide in it only makes the acid more corrosive. And good luck fighting back when nature made an evolutionary aggro weapon borderline bulletproof. Crocodiles are covered in osteoderms, and armor plating blocks the teeth of other animals from doing damage, which is why there's more than one case of a croc tanking a gunshot, but the nasty work is what you can't see. The scales are said to manipulate water in a way that means a 20-foot problem doesn't make ripples. The osteoderms create countercurrents that cancel out any disturbances.
Yeah, that's correct. Like, look at it swimming here, and look how little cavitation's being caused by it because of just, like, their body working in perfect symmetry to not create cavitation. That is insane. A 20-foot monster in the water creates no waves.
Doesn't make ripples. The osteoderms create countercurrents that cancel out any disturbances made in the water. Basically cloaking technology, but in a steroid reptile. The same osteoderms can store heat for when it gets too cold and then release it when it's too hot, so they also have a built-in thermostat. There's one more trick under its skin, and it's that when crocs spend all that time underwater, lactic acid starts to build up in them. But because osteoderms are made of mineralized bones, the minerals will slightly dissolve if the acid gets too high, releasing carbonate and bicarbonate ions that neutralize the acid and raise the pH. Crocs are nature's nepo babies. Evolution gave them every cheat possible. And with salties growing up to 20 feet long and pressing the scales at often over 2,000 pounds, it's not like they needed more handouts, especially when you realize.
Look at that. That is at least 8 to 9 feet out of the water, and it's able to create enough thrust out of the water to get that high out of the. That's insane.
Except for a tail that stores.
Yeah, look at that.
Fat like a camel's hump, crocs are almost all muscle and look like a snake with legs with Kratos' knives for teeth. That tail is a lot stronger than you think, and the same one that can briefly airlift a plus-size predator would absolutely shatter your leg with a direct hit. But there might not be anything more unsettling than crocodiles having probably the most advanced eyes of any animal. Eyes nature put right at the top of their heads, so snappy lads can plot on your life while cosplaying as a log. Eyes that have a protective nictating membrane, so even attacking one of their few weaknesses still requires two-factor authentication, especially since they can retract their eyeballs. And like dolphins, crocs can rest half their brain at a time, meaning the pride of Steve Irwin can sleep with one eye open, and studies show they're more likely to do that when they're around humans. Also, they have night vision because of course they do, and that's not even the most broken part of their vision. The fovea is a small part of the retina, but it's where vision is the sharpest, and it's what you use when you focus on a specific word on a page, or play Where's Waldo. And when you move your eyes to look at something, got him, that's you putting—
God, son of a bitch.
Wow.
Dude, fuck you. Find Luigi.
the image on your phone.
There he was. I see him right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The problem is, what is a tiny dot for us is the shape of a skid mark in a crocodile. Having a fat fovea means nature's favorite predator can scan an entire shoreline without moving its head. If you still don't follow, get a book and try to read the entire page without moving your eyes once, and then realize how much of a middle finger this creature's existence is, especially since the titanic scale demon has cockroach levels of plot armor. Crocodiles can tank freezing cold, extreme heat, radiation, and can live in waters contaminated with heavy metals. And with a diet of a morgue, they're resistant to nastiness like anthrax, cholera, and the most potent substance on Earth, botulism. They also have negligible senescence, meaning they don't really age the same way most animals do. It doesn't make them immortal, but it does mean that they never really stop growing and can easily pass 100. In fact, right now, there's a croc that's been alive since 1900.
Yeah. Meet Henry. Fathered 10,000 babies and just turned 124.
Needs 8 people.
Yeah.
Damn. That's
year. Which means, other than a Greenland shark, I don't think there's another predator that can outlive a croc, and with them being nature's favorite, of course some sick muppet made them resistant to cancer. And many believe it's thanks to their gut.
Oh, have you seen like when a crocodile gets cancer, what its body does? It basically, once its body like figures out that there's a cancerous tumor building up, its body basically like cardons off that section of its body, the section where the cancer's growing, and it sutures it off bit by bit and forces it out of its skin, and it just drops out.
the fuck?
It's a literal cheat code. Some birds do that too. Some birds actually have that built in as well.
because the gut microbiome is said to be a huge part of your health, and a crocodile's gut community manages to reverse cancer. An experiment found that their gut bacteria put the brakes on cancer and slowed the growth of cancer-causing cells. Basically, it's a cancer to cancer, and now I understand why Buddy from Spider-Man crashed out, especially since it turns out alligators and crocodiles can regenerate a lost tail. Crocodilian blood also throws hands with bad bacteria and can dead diseases like salmonella and staph infections. This thing's built like a Dark Souls boss, and the fact that they can survive several acts of God yet get neutralized by a rubber band around the mouth proves nature has a sense of irony. But that's a lot better than getting folded by some of the diseases out there, and there's some stuff that Satan would second guess. Viewer discretion is advised, and this time I'm so serious. I'm not being cute. If you're queasy and not built for body horror, go here before I ruin your whole day. Your lack of action will be considered consent, I'm just saying. Last chance, you can still go back. Alright, this is on you. 3, 2, happy Halloween. I didn't even curse, I did gag a little. This is a deer suffering from papillomavirus, and it's usually not harmful unless you value mental health. But it can also cause Lovecraftian rabbits, with those affected seeming to grow
recently. It's crazy.
tentacles. And if you live in Colorado, you've definitely seen these jackalopes popping up. And according to this article, the cutaneous quills are caused by the cottontail papillomavirus. This is the worst thing you can see while a mile high, because of the altitude. We fear most what we can't understand, and sometimes it feels like fear is the only thing stories like these are selling, and how that story is told could be the difference between being informed and building a panic bunker expecting the end of the world. That's where ground news comes in. Because if we're talking about a mutant deer with flesh bubbles for sanity's sake, you better be informed. Their app and website pulls from over 50,000 sources worldwide to give you context about each source's biases, reliability, and ownership. It allows you to compare how different outlets cover the same story and see where the truth really lies. And with the rabbit story, Ground News shows you over 200 sources and that most of the reporting came from the left or center. If I scroll down, I can see all the articles, and the more sensational headlines that were calling them Frankenrabbits actually came from lower factuality sources. As you can guess, the higher rated outlets were the ones explaining what was going on. The internet's great for showing you things you'd otherwise be blind to, but it's also great for erasing context and mass producing misinformation, which is why Ground News takes the mask off of who's really pushing a story to explain the inexplicable, and Ground News was even recognized by the Nobel Peace Center for their efforts in media literacy. If you'd like a guide to navigate random rabbit holes, no, not this one. By now, you already know I partnered with Ground News to get you 40% off the same unlimited access Vantage plan I'm using. Make sure you go to groundnews.com/casualgeo or scan the QR code on screen to subscribe for only $5 a month, so hopefully I will never have to look at that deer again. But you'll never see a croc with something like that. It just wasn't enough nature gave an overachieving iguana the most broken build on the planet. Their abilities would get them banned in any game. Like
that baby doing a death roll.
Said, a crocodile on a stakeout can hold its breath for hours, and alligators can survive a 5-month cold plunge. Low metabolism means they live on power save mode, and it's also why a crocodile can go up to 2 years without eating. God bless the bloke that breaks his fast. It means crocodiles can wait out the times that would surely wipe out anything else, and now you see how an aggressive snout managed to reject the same death that found the dinosaurs. Crocs have been around since Saturn was single and still waiting on a ring, and the fact that they can just suspend animation by putting their life on layaway just proves that they really are the teacher's pet of evolution.
Just trying to clear one of the aqueducts or one of the levees, and it's just like, is that a croc? No, it's a gator.
Also, crocodiles are more than capable of running fast enough to catch you off guard, or at least a Cuban croc will, and this is the one time I wish it were AI. And whoever
Chiquita the pet Cuban croc, she's cute.
Whoever said you should run away from one in a zigzag is guilty of attempted murder. That is a myth that only ups the chance that you trip and go out like a horror movie. You could climb a tree, except they can do that too, because honestly, why not? They do everything else. And not only do they climb trees, according to scientists, they do it regularly, with them finding grown adults 10 feet in the trees and juveniles as high as 30. School taught you to be afraid of quicksand and giant Venus flytraps, yet somehow a drop gator was an unmentioned possibility. They can also climb fences of every kind. And again, you already know where this was taken. This is flagrantly Floridian. I think now's a good time to mention crocodiles are more related to birds than to a turtle, snake, or a lizard, meaning
that one.
Yeah.
That one looks derpy as hell.
barely missed out on this freak being able to fly. Flightlessness aside,
It lands on
another
its head
thing
like,
they can't do well is see underwater.
Alright,
Their
I'm
aqua
good.
vision is actually kind of mid. We're this far into this video and we finally found a weakness. But don't get too excited, because nature overcompensated with something outrageous. Those pits seasoning the crocodile are pressure sensors, and it's how the ultimate predator can clock the smallest vibrations in the water. It completely erases their lack of water vision. In fact, you could hogtie a croc blindfolded, throw it into a pool, and let a leaky faucet drip on the complete opposite side. The croc will still know exactly where the water's coming from, while you won't know where he is until you wake up at a Tupac concert. And when murkiness brings the water's visibility to zero, they'll T-pose, spreading their legs and fingers to maximize an already broken ability. And speaking of fingers, their jaws are more sensitive than yours. A dinosaur beast breathing like a nosegay, but let the croc tell it. That's the only demon that's slaying. And I don't know if I said this already, but let's not just walk past the fact that they can regenerate their tails like a starfish's arm.
Oh yeah,
That's gone.
yeah. This croc got its leg torn off. I remember that clip. That was just like, oh.
The thing is, bears are berserker builds on steroids, cats are four-legged fur ninjas, and orcas are the most cerebral serial murkers on the planet. What is it about this semi-aquatic bioweapon that makes me confidently call them the scariest predator on Earth? Oh, simple. They're a predator's predator. Is there a single predator that generates more anxiety in other predators? Even cheetahs aren't fast enough to cheat death in the hit range of the reptile. And the king of the jungle gets a severe vibe check when they're out of their element. Not to mention, crocodiles will savage sharks to the point where many believe bull sharks actively avoid them. The crocodile is the worst kind of savage sharks.
This
To the point
one
where
right here. Sharks just like
many believe bull sharks actively
Nope.
avoid them.
It's like, oh, not that way.
The crocodile is the worst kind of
That elephant just kicking dust on it, just like,
Yeah,
just like, hey,
please go away.
hey, fuck off, fuck off.
predator. One with zero prejudice, which makes them a massive threat to the most successful predator.
I thought that was a real person for a second. I thought that was a real.
Thankfully, it was not.
My God, that fooled me. I was like,
One with
Why
zero
would you be
prejudice,
such an
which
idiot
makes
to have
them a
both your hands in
yeah,
the water?
that's
and
what I'm
things like
thinking.
that anyway.
Because I saw the hat and I saw the arms. I'm like, uh-oh. Because I thought it was going to come from over here because, you know, wider angle up here. But then, surprise.
massive threat to the most successful predator of all time. Here's the thing, when a lion, tiger, or bear
Oh,
becomes
those are the man-eaters, the Mombasa man-eaters.
a man-eater, it usually means something's wrong and they can't hunt their normal prey. Polar bears and Komodo dragons are famously less picky, but their home base is so remote that most people will never have to worry about.
Oh. Imagine being a photographer, like, up in the Arctic, like, looking at seals, and then you turn around your camera and you see that in the water looking at you.
You'd be like, well, I'm dead.
All right, let me unpack my pocket 50 cal here. My pocket 50 cal rifle.
Hope you have one. Right?
I'm joking, I don't. Jesus. But actually, there is that 150 cal pistol. It's a single shot, like, 50 cal, like, rifle round. I was like, that probably would, like, take its head off, but good luck.
About them. Not only do crocodiles practice the worst kind of equality, they're basically everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
It's not that they actively go after humans, just that they genuinely don't care, which is why it's the crocodile that turns more humans into hashtags than any other large predator by a lot, and considering how and where they do it, that number could easily be higher. Even if you don't
Irrigators.
get killed by a crocodile, there's plenty of psychological damage that comes from being targeted by one. In 2003, 2 Australian teenagers spent 22 hours trapped in a tree while being stalked by a 13-foot crocodile below, and the entire night was the two keeping each other awake so they wouldn't fall in.
Not only
I
that,
think
but
I
they're
remember hearing about that story.
yeah, they
from
actually made a
somewhere else.
movie about it. It was actually like a Mr. Ballin video, and not only that, but their friend died. Their friend died, like, to the croc.
To make it even worse, thanks to a flood, the waters kept rising, and the croc seemed to taunt the two by showing off the body of the third friend it had already caught. The two would be saved, but only by helicopter, because really, what else can you do in that situation? Well, they didn't get it as bad as Ryan. The New Zealander also got stalked by a croc almost as big as the 20-foot kayak he was traveling in, and held captive on Governor Island, where the predator repeatedly made his presence known. 2 weeks with limited food and water, and a 20-foot undertaker that would chase him every time he tried to leave, and Ryan was hanging on by only a thread by the time he was rescued. That's the horror of being hunted by the greatest sit-and-wait predator of all time. Cause time is their greatest resource. You'll never have more of it than they do. And the fact that the big ones can go a year or more between meals and do their dirty work in murky water makes a man-eating crocodile the most difficult kind to deal with. Gustav was a Nile crocodile believed to be 20 feet long and well over 2,000 pounds. Believed because despite allegedly putting 300 people in past tense and being repeatedly shot, the serial killer croc was never officially caught. And
yeah, they're saying that where they haven't seen him in so long now that they think that he's dead, but...
Can't ever be sure, I guess.
Exactly. And not only that, but 300 bodies. Like, think about that. Like, he has gone up and down the Nile River just murking people.
Despite reports of his death, because he was believed to have hatched in the 50s, there's a small but legitimate chance he's still out there, biding his time, just waiting for someone to wander close enough to become 50 Shades of Prey. You never see them until it's too late, and once you do, you might not see them for another year. It's a self-cloaking carnivorous convict that the Land Before Time left behind. This is the scariest predator on Earth. But of course, it's just an animal doing what comes naturally. They're not evil, just forged by millions of years of character development and mass extinctions. It's not hard to see why Steve Irwin wrote so hard for them, and I wouldn't be doing Khaki Jesus justice if I convinced you to hate them. Nah, with them it's respect, and a very healthy helping of fear, because moral of the story, always beware the old man in a game where men die young. And you always beware the landlord of Croc Country, because you'll never know when rent's due.
Damn. Okay.
Glad we don't live particularly close to any of those.
Thank God. I mean, I've been to Florida multiple times. Actually, I've been okay. I was at a restaurant in South Carolina. It's called Dick's Last Resort. They have one in Gatlinburg.
I've been to one.
And it's okay. The one in South Carolina, top notch. Love that place. We were sitting on the patio outside. One of the tables at the end, and I look over the edge, and I'm just like, Dad, there's a crocodile, there's an alligator down there, and Dad's like, that's not an alligator, son, and I was like, I think it is, and Dad's like, all right. He picks up a roll from our bread basket, the bread basket they brought, and he's like, all right. Throws it down at it and just, and does, oh my God! My dad, like, I swear.
It was an alligator?
It was an actual gator. And thankfully it was like 12 feet below us. It was like about an 8 to 10 foot gator. And I just remember we told the people at the restaurant, be like, there's a gator down there, man. And the woman working there, she was like, oh yeah, that's Fred. Don't worry about him. I'm like, Fred? It's like, damn. Oh, okay. Well, I guess don't feed Fred.
I feel like that was the name of the gator that one comedian dude was talking about, but I think it was a different name. But it was like at the college he went to in Florida, and it was on the syllabus.
Yeah.
It was like, please don't feed the gator that's behind the cafeteria. And it was like, he loves French fries, by the way. I ain't implying he didn't feed him.
This Last Resort, South Carolina. Yeah, Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Gator. Let's see. But, oh yeah. I heart eating boogers. And also those hats, those stupid condom hats that they make for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
They made one for me. It was all the girls beat me up at school. Gosh. So, yeah, scariest predator of all time. I mean, how long have crocodiles been around? Like, how long have crocodiles been around?
200 million years.
How long have trees been around? Yeah. Trees have existed for 385 million years.
Actually, the answers on Wikipedia are much different than the AI answers. I wouldn't trust the AI.
How long have...
83.5 million years ago, says Wikipedia.
Okay. How long have crocodiles been around? They appeared 83.5 million years ago. Crocodilia, okay. And how long have trees been around? Around 400 million years ago. Okay, so trees have been around for 400 million, almost 400 million years, whereas, you know, gators have been around, or crocodiles have been around for like between 200 and 100 million years ago. That's kind of crazy. Jesus. So, I'm like, honestly, I'm glad we don't live in an area that's like high in gator count, because I'm afraid of like something bad happening. Something very, very bad. But, yeah, anyway. I don't know what else to say at this point, except for thanks for tuning in, everybody. And we hope that y'all enjoyed this, and we hope to see y'all in the next one. Anything else you'd like to add, Nick? All right. Well, till next time, everyone. Signing off, I'm Nate.
I am Nick.
Be good people. Take care. Peace.